welcome back to my channel. My name's Kathleen. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Danessa Myricks Groundwork Palette. It's an all-in-one palette. That looks like this. It's a pretty hefty looking palette. And inside we have 10 shades, okay, going through there. One side is a powder and the other side is a pomade. And what you can do with this palette is you can do your eyebrows, you can do your eyes, you can contour with this palette, and you can also do your lips. So it's an all-in-one palette that's for a makeup enthusiast, makeup artist, anybody who's looking for a lot of value in one palette. This is a palette for you, and we're going to be doing it on my mature skin. So if that interests you, stay tuned. Okay, so let's get started. I just put a primer on my face. I'm using this Instant Firm No Filter Primer by Peter Thomas Roth. Okay, it's firms, blurs, and the appearance of fine lines and pores and any imperfection. And what I did is when you put this on, you have to let it dry for like anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes, and it just kind of put it over the areas of my face where I have a lot of, my pores are bigger and where I have finer lines. So anyway, I am 63 years old. I don't have a ton of fine lines, but my skin is sagging. So anyway, I have that on. I'm going to go in, I'm going to clip my hair back. And what I'm going to start with first is my foundation. And I'm going to put foundation, which I typically don't usually do foundation first, but because of, I'm going to bring this in a little bit. Because of the nature of this tutorial, I want you to be able to see what kind of skin on your work that I'm working on. I'm going to be using this Estee Lauder Futurist foundation. This foundation is great. This is a great color match for my skin. It is in Futurist foundation. This foundation is great. This is a great color match for my skin. It is in, what number is it? This Estee Lauder Futurist foundation. This foundation is great. This is a great color match for my skin. It is in, what number is it? Sand, I believe. Hold on a second. No, Pebble, number 3C2. So I'm going to put one pump on. I'm going to take my foundation brush, the Sonia G Jumbo Base Brush. Looks like this. And I'm going to go in and tap that in all over my face. And occasionally I'll probably be looking down at my magnifying mirror so I can see what I'm actually doing throughout this video. Otherwise, who knows what my brows will end up looking like. I have my contacts in, but so I love this foundation. It just adds a lot of hydration. I don't have to worry about it, you know, flaking up on my skin throughout the day. Here we go. I'm gonna go up there. You can see I have hyperpigmentation. I just made an appointment with the dermatologist to go in and have that, you know, removed or have a facial done on it to have it reduced again. It kind of like, it goes away in the winter when I'm not in the sun, but even with wearing sunblock, like as soon as I go outside in that heat, it just like wants to pop right back out. Okay. Okay, so that is my foundation. It's one pump of this. I use it all over my face. I don't like a heavy foundation. I just don't like the way it makes my skin look or even feel. But this is very lightweight, but it gives really good coverage and it lasts the entire day. Okay, so next I'm going to be going in with this paint pot, Painterly. This is my eye base that I'm going to be using. I'm going to go in with this brush here. The number of it, but it looks like this. It's a MAC brush, I know that much. And I love, this is like one of my my favorites, is I love this Painterly paint pot. It's skin tone, as you can see. And so you can see it's like skin tone, so it matches, like my skin doesn't look like, sometimes when you put like an eye base on, it can be very brightening, which is good if you want to brighten up. I don't want mine to look more natural. But you can see how it like just kind of evens out the tone on that lid. And you can see the eyebrows, what we're going to be dealing with today. You can see this brow here, there's hair there. Actually, this is my favorite brow. You have they say one is your mother's, one is your father's. I don't know which is which. And this eyebrow is higher, right? So this eyebrow is higher than this eyebrow. So what I try to do is go in there and even it out. So I have more hair here. I have less hair on this brow, right? So, and on top of it, I have them microbladed, but the I'm due for microblading. It's probably been, I don't know, 2 years since I've had it done. So I'm in the research phases again of going to get my eyes microbladed. I was going to this woman in Brooklyn, but it's just too far to get there. So anyway, okay, so I have the eye base on. I'm done with that. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of setting powder and set that. And then we're gonna get started on the brows. I typically, if I were gonna do your makeup, I would do your brows first and then go back in and touch them up at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna go in, using this powder here by Dermablend. It's the loose setting powder. I'm just gonna go in there and set that pink pot. You don't really need to, but just as an extra precaution, I'm gonna do that. Go in there and set that. Okay, that's good. All right, so we're gonna go in next and we're gonna start with those brows. Okay, and I am going to take this brush here. It's the MAC 208. It's an angle brush. It's a pretty stiff one too. I'm actually due for a new one. Can you see it? Yeah, so that's how I'm gonna be painting my brows on. I'm gonna go in there and I'm going to start off with this taupe color here. All right, I'm gonna fill in the whole brow on both sides with this. I'm gonna be using the pomade on it, and then I'm gonna go over it with the darker color on the end and just kind of make the tail go a little bit longer and make it a little bit more pronounced so that we can get the arch on there. So I'm gonna try to do this as close as possible, but like I said, I really need to be able to see what I'm doing when I'm doing brows that require, like, you know, precision going in there. So I'm gonna take my brush and I'm going to lightly lay it across. I'm not gonna jab it in there. I'm gonna go back and forth like that and then tap it there a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna start from the underneath first and go and draw that line going all the way across. Now, when I have my brows microbladed, this goes on a lot easier. I don't have to fill it in as much. And you can see it's still pretty light. I don't want it to be super dark. Just yet, because I want to do the outline first. Get in there. Because you can see my natural hair is dark, right? My hair, I'm actually, this is 90% gray, I would say at this point. So I have my hair colored and highlighted, it's called. So this is chiseled. That's the one I use, the taupey colored one, and then this one is called bark. And I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna lay my brush across there like this, very gently. And now I'm gonna try to make some hairs, like strokes of hairs going across in there. But I'm not gonna go too far over this way because I don't want it to be too dark on the inside corner here. I want it to be darker on the outside. And if you go above, that's not horrible. The idea is, like, you don't want to squish it in there. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do very fine lines going through there so it almost looks like hair. I'm gonna go underneath here, kind of shoot that up and make this tail a little bit longer there. I'm gonna go across the top here, accentuate the arch there, make it a little bit darker on this arch part, right? And then the ends. That's part we always want to make. more even now than it did before, right? Because that brow was like so sparse up there. All right. Now, next we're gonna go in. Now, this whole palette you can use, you know, for, like I said, you can use your eyes, your eyebrows, you can contour with it, and you can do your lips. I'm gonna go in with this color here. I'm gonna go in with the pomade side. I forget what it's called. Sandstone, it's called. And go up there and just like kind of chisel out those brows a little bit so they look a little bit cleaner underneath there. And I'm gonna use the pomade side, I'm not gonna use the powder. And I'm just gonna go right up there. Now you can use a concealer here too if you want. You don't have to use this if you like a brighter look with the concealer. And that just kind of cleans it up there a little bit. There we go, brows are done. And now we can go and we can take gel and that'll just kind of make it look a little bit thicker. All right, so next I'm gonna go in and I'm going to take this brush here. It is the it's the Yano brush, number 7. The Yano series brush. I got these from Beautylish. I love the way that they're angled, like a paintbrush almost. And I'm gonna go in and I'm going to be using this color here, which is Mirage. See that color there? I'm gonna be using the powder this time, and I'm gonna go in and just kind of fill in my crease area. So I have a pretty big area up here. I don't have a huge hood. Go in there, tap off the excess. I have to say, like, there is not shimmers in this palette. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use this Dior color. It's called number 550. It's Dior, it's like a shimmery color, pretty light, like a champagne-y color. Wet it with my my MAC Prep and Prime. I couldn't remember what that was. That's hard to believe. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go all the way across my lid here. So guys, if you're getting any value from this video, would you hit that like button and subscribe so that you can get notified when I upload a new video every, when do I upload? Every Tuesday morning. My lash ends at the very end and I'm just gonna kind of wiggle it in there, right in that crease area there. And that's just gonna, like I said, there is like literally no fallout. Okay, so like I said, this is all the same palette that we're using. Bring that over, make it a little bit deeper. And I'm gonna take this bigger brush here with nothing on it, and I'm gonna blend those in a little bit. And go over the whole eye. Just don't wanna do it too much because you'll just kind of wipe away the shimmer on the eye. All right, next I'm gonna go back in with another angle brush, which is this one here. It is the MAC 255 brush. It's another angle brush. It's a little bit bigger than the one I was using for my brows. And I'm gonna go in with that color here that I use, Bark color, and I'm gonna go across and I'm gonna line, I'm not gonna go on my waterline, but I'm gonna take the pomade and go right across that lash line there up close. Like you wanna get it as close as possible. Right in there like this. And this is not going to give you like a gelled liner look. It's going to give you more of a smudge liner look. That's just going to add a little bit of depth there and make the lash line look a little thicker. So I haven't not used this yet. I did use this palette on a wedding last weekend and I loved it. I really did. I didn't contour with it with anybody, but I did use it on their eyes and their eyebrows. And I love the way that I was able to use it. First of all, I didn't have to take out 3 different palettes. And second of all, like using the same colors that coincide with each other right there in front of you, it's a lot easier and you can stay a lot more organized when you're doing your makeup that way. Okay. So I don't wing out at all. I just kind of just go underneath. You know, like I said, I just go right on that lash line there. And then what I'm gonna do, I don't have any concealer on underneath my eyes just yet. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna clean that up. And then I'm gonna go in concealer and I'm just gonna do the corners. This all the time. This is a Bioderma and I use a cotton pad. And you're gonna see though, there's hardly any fallout. Foundation first, which typically I use my foundation last because of fallout. So I'm gonna go back underneath with this Trish McAvoy, the Instant Eye Lift. And I'm gonna go in there and I'm going to kind of brighten up that under eye area a little bit. I'm going to take this brush here from Sonia G. It is, what brush is it? Soft Concealer. Okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to blend that in. And this is just like a brightener for the under eye. It's not actually the concealer. And you can see I have like dark circles here. And now I'm going to go in with this Makeup Forever. This is another concealer palette. You can see it's well loved. It's got every shade imaginable. Again, that's like a one-stop deal for me. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to be using this color here. You can see this is a well loved color. I'm going to go in and I am going to take a clean brush and go in there. So when I conceal, I go in here and I kind of bring it out. I also don't love a ton of concealer on either. And go up that way. I have broken blood vessel there. I go up underneath there. Okay, I'm gonna take my sponge. And I'm just gonna tap that underneath there while I'm looking up, and then I'm gonna take, actually no, this is by Terry powder. It's got like a pinkish hue to it. And I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna set that under eye so it doesn't crease. I'm just gonna take my sponge and go in there and go underneath there and tap that in on both sides. Okay. I'm gonna go in there with the clean brush and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna conceal. So when I conceal, I go in here and I kind of bring it out. I also don't love a ton of concealer on either. While I'm looking up, and then I'm going to take, actually no, this is just by Terry powder. It's got like a pinkish hue to it. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to set that under eye so it doesn't crease. I'm just going to take my sponge and go in there and go underneath there and tap that in on both sides. Okay, so that just kind of brightens it up. All right, now I'm gonna go back in and I'm going to, oops, take that darker color, that bark color that I used, all right, I'm kind of, I have this color here. Looks like cork. It's called Core, and I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna kind of smudge that out a little bit underneath here. I don't like to go too crazy under the eye because I don't want to close up the eye. The idea is to keep the eyes as open as possible. Kind of go in and smudge it. All right, so next we're gonna go in and we're gonna contour with this. I'm gonna take this brush here. This is from the Sonia G collection too. This is another concealer brush. Love these brushes. They came from, like I said, they came from Beautylish. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take that taupe color here. I would like this if the palettes were a little bit bigger. Like, it's really tough to get a good brush in there and then kind of make it look blurred out. I don't want it looking streaky looking or liney looking, so I'm going Pro Brush, but as you can see how it's angled. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take that cork color, that looks this color here, this cork color, and I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna kind of bronze that up a little bit. That's looking a little orangey. And there's a lot of pigment in these colors, but again, there's not a lot of fallout. All right, I am gonna go over and put in some blush. I'm gonna be using this Tower blush, Beach Please Happy Hour, it's called. And now I'm gonna put my blush up and through here. Tap it in very gently. I don't like to put blush underneath, like it hits down in here and you can see where I have some droopiness going on there. It just really seems to accentuate it. And then I'm gonna go in and blend that out. This again. Sometimes I'm standing there on weddings and I'm watching the artist and seems like forever. Oh God, I'm gonna wanna remove it. And I did not go in, I'm gonna go in and contour my nose. You can see it's very subtle, but there is some change. Slimming up the nose there a little bit, and then go in with my beauty blender. Okay, and then you can go across this jawline here, underneath here. Get those gels. Now, I'm not putting a lot of product on here. You can see this is just what's been left over. But you can see how it kind of like defines it, for sure. Okay. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to use a little setting powder. I'm going to put some lashes on. This is like a finishing powder. It is the, it's the, you can see, I just go in there and I swirl my brush around ever so lightly. You can see the powder coming up. And I'm gonna go in and kind of buff that into the skin. And that will kind of take down any harshness. Okay, you can see, kind of buff that into the skin. And that will kind of take down any harshness. Okay, you can see how it just kind of like brings it down a little bit. Go in on this side, pop it out. And I'll just go back over everything with it. Go up in here, and here. And you just kind of make like these light swirly motions all over. Okay, lips. We did not do lips. I have not done lips with this palette yet, so this should be interesting. But what I'm gonna do is go and line my lips. No, I'm gonna go. So I am just going around and I'm lining the outside of my lips with Bark here, this color. I didn't want to go in with like something that light because I don't have that shade in my lip color and I try to stay within my own lip shade. So this is definitely, now, that's a little, I don't, there's not a lot of color payoff, but I mean, this is a good everyday, natural, like not too crazy look, so. All right, so let me just hop off real quick and do my lashes. Hey guys, I'm back. I've got my lashes on. I'm not crazy about the lip color, so that's definitely can be, it's a simple fix, but you know, we tried it out anyway, and it's really good as a lip liner. I don't think I'd be using it as a lip color on my lips, so somebody who had darker lips, absolutely. But overall, like, this is a great palette. It really is. I mean, for what I was able to do with this palette, like, you can't go wrong. You know, 10 shades that can be removed. You can pull all these palettes out and put them into a different palette if you choose to, or if you just want to customize a palette of yours, you can do that with whatever shades that you would use. It retails for $65 US, which again, you know, most palettes run between $40 and $60 one palette, so I definitely think it's worth the money, and it's heavy. Plus there's no fallout. There's literally no fallout from this palette. So anyway, yeah, overall I liked it. This is the look. It's, you know, I'm 63, so, you know, it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's a basic look that I would definitely use this palette for, like, you know, every day if I needed to. So anyway, if you gained any value from this video, please consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up, and then I'll see you in my next video next Tuesday. And I'll link everything in the description box below so that you can find everything if you need to. Okay, have a good day. Thank you.